Los Angeles, January 1947. A city built on dreams. A city where thousands arrived searching for fame, fortune, and a second chance. But hidden beneath the bright lights of Hollywood was a darkness few wanted to see. For one young woman, that darkness would become her legacy. Her name was Elizabeth Short. She was 22 years old, beautiful, ambitious, and desperate to build a better life. She dreamed of Hollywood, of movie stars, of a future brighter than her troubled past. Instead, she became the center of one of America's most haunting mysteries. The newspapers gave her a name the world would never forget. The Black Dahlia. More than 70 years later, no arrest, no conviction, no definitive answers, only theories, suspects, and questions that refused to die. Who was Elizabeth Short? What happened during the final days of her life? And did the killer hide in plain sight all along? The Black Dahlia. The unsolved murder of Elizabeth Short. This is her story. Los Angeles, the city of dreams, a place where thousands arrived every year chasing fame, fortune, and a new beginning. But in January of 1947, Los Angeles became the setting for one of the most notorious unsolved murders in American history. The victim was a young woman named Elizabeth Short. Today, most people know her by another name, a name given to her by newspapers after her death, the Black Dahlia. For nearly 80 years, investigators, journalists, writers, and amateur detectives have tried to answer a single question: who killed Elizabeth Short? To understand the mystery, we must first understand the woman at its center. Elizabeth Short was born on July 29, 1924, in Boston, Massachusetts. She was the third of 5 daughters. Her father, Cleo Short, worked in construction and built miniature golf courses during the economic boom of the 1920s. But when the Great Depression struck America, everything changed. The family faced severe financial hardship. Then came a shocking twist. One day, Cleo's car was discovered abandoned near a bridge. Many believed he had taken his own life. For years, Elizabeth's family thought he was dead, but he wasn't. He'd simply disappeared, leaving his wife and daughters behind. Elizabeth grew up without a father, and her mother struggled to support the family. As a child, Elizabeth suffered from chronic bronchitis and asthma. Doctors recommended warmer climates. This led her to spend winters in Florida. It was there that she developed a love for sunshine, glamour, and possibility. Friends remembered her as attractive and charming. She had striking dark hair and pale skin. She enjoyed dressing elegantly and dreamed of a better future. Like many young women of her generation, she became fascinated by Hollywood. Movies offered an escape from everyday struggles, and eventually Elizabeth wanted to be part of that world. She imagined herself becoming an actress, a star, someone important. But dreams are often easier to imagine than achieve, and the road ahead would be far more complicated than she expected. In the early 1940s, America was consumed by World War II. Military bases across the country brought thousands of servicemen together. Elizabeth often spent time around military communities. She was known for dating soldiers and airmen. Some relationships were serious, others were brief. People who knew her later described her as hopeful, romantic, and eager to find stability. During this period, Elizabeth reconnected with her father. Years after abandoning the family, he contacted her. He was living in California. Despite everything that had happened, Elizabeth decided to visit him. At first, the reunion seemed promising, but tensions soon developed. Their relationship deteriorated. Eventually, Elizabeth left. Once again, she was on her own. She moved around California and Florida, staying with friends and acquaintances. Money was often scarce. She worked occasional jobs. Nothing lasted very long. Still, she remained determined. Los Angeles represented opportunity. She believed her breakthrough was just around the corner, but reality proved difficult. There is little evidence that Elizabeth ever secured meaningful acting work. Instead, she struggled to establish herself in a city filled with dreamers. Yet those who met her rarely forgot her. She had a magnetic personality, a distinctive appearance, and an ability to make people believe she was destined for something greater. Unfortunately, destiny had something else in store. January 1947. Elizabeth Short's final days began like any other. On January 9th, she arrived in Los Angeles after spending time in San Diego. Several witnesses later reported seeing her during the days that followed. The last confirmed sighting occurred on January 9th at the Biltmore Hotel. She was reportedly waiting in the lobby. Witnesses described her as calm. Nothing appeared unusual. No one could have imagined that they were among the last people to see her alive. After that day, Elizabeth disappeared. For 6 days, her whereabouts remained unknown. This period would become one of the greatest mysteries in the entire investigation. Who was she with? Where did she go? Did she know her killer? Or did she encounter a stranger? To this day, no one knows. Then came January 15th. A mother walking with her child noticed what appeared to be a mannequin lying in a vacant lot. As she got closer, she realized it was not a mannequin. Police were called immediately. Investigators soon identified the victim as Elizabeth Short. The discovery stunned Los Angeles. News spread rapidly. Within hours, reporters flooded the scene. What followed would become a media frenzy, unlike anything America had seen before. The case dominated headlines. The public demanded answers. But answers would prove frustratingly elusive. The Los Angeles Police Department launched a massive investigation. Hundreds of officers worked the case. Thousands of tips poured in. Newspapers covered every development. Unfortunately, media attention created problems. Reporters often obtained information before detectives. Rumors spread quickly. Facts became mixed with speculation. Meanwhile, investigators attempted to reconstruct Elizabeth's final days. Friends, former boyfriends, co-workers, and acquaintances were interviewed. Every lead was pursued. At one point, the police received a package mailed directly to a newspaper. Inside were personal items belonging to Elizabeth. The sender appeared to be taunting authorities. The package generated even more headlines, but it did not identify the killer. As the investigation expanded, suspects emerged from every direction. Doctors, soldiers, criminals, businessmen, writers. Dozens of names entered police files. Most were eventually cleared, yet the list continued growing. By some estimates, more than 150 individuals were investigated. None could be conclusively linked to the crime. The case was slowly becoming a nightmare for law enforcement. Suspect 1, Leslie Dillon. One of the earliest major suspects was Leslie Dillon. Dillon attracted police attention because of his unusual knowledge of crime. Investigators questioned him extensively. For a time, some detectives believed he might be involved. However, evidence remained insufficient. Eventually, prosecutors declined to proceed. No charges were filed. Suspect 2, Mark Hansen, a nightclub owner and acquaintance of Elizabeth. Some investigators considered him suspicious due to his connection with her, yet no evidence directly linked him to the murder. The case against him never developed. Suspect 3, Dr. George Hodel, perhaps the most famous suspect of all. Decades after the murder, retired detective Steve Hodel publicly accused his own father, Dr. George Hodel. Steve argued that his father possessed the intelligence, opportunity, and personality traits necessary to commit the crime. Supporters of the theory point to old police surveillance records and circumstantial evidence. Critics note that no definitive proof has ever emerged. To this day, George Hodel remains one of the most debated suspects in the Black Dahlia mystery. Other suspects over the years, countless names surfaced. Some confessed. Others were accused by relatives. Several claims collapsed under scrutiny. False confessions became a recurring problem. Many individuals sought attention from the press. Distinguishing truth from fiction became increasingly difficult. The Black Dahlia case generated countless theories. Some believe Elizabeth knew her killer personally. Others argue she encountered a stranger. Some suspect a medical professional because of aspects of the crime scene. Others believe organized criminal elements were involved. Still others argue the true killer may never have appeared on police radar at all. Several key questions remain unanswered. Where was Elizabeth during the days before her death? Why was she targeted? Was the crime planned in advance? How did the killer avoid detection? And perhaps most importantly, why has no one ever been conclusively identified? As the years passed, witnesses died, evidence disappeared, and memories faded. Yet public fascination never ended. Elizabeth Short wanted to be remembered, but not like this. The young woman who dreamed of Hollywood became immortal for a reason she never chose. Books were written, movies were made, documentaries explored every angle. Generations of investigators revisited the evidence. Still, the mystery remains unsolved. The Black Dahlia case became more than a murder investigation. It became a symbol of unanswered questions, lost opportunities, and a young life cut tragically short. What remains certain is this. Nearly 8 decades later, the name Elizabeth Short continues to captivate the world, and the mystery of the Black Dahlia remains one of the most enduring unsolved cases in American history.